door card removal. So these are real easy to take off. I'm pretty sure the Tienas are the same. Nissan Tiena, I think they're called. It's 2005 model. They all look pretty much the same. I'm pretty sure the insides are the same, just different colour patterns on the doors and whatnot. But these are real simple to remove, the door cards. I didn't see a video for this type of door card on the net, so I thought I'd do one, because I'm going to be replacing those speakers down here. So first screw you want to remove is the one up here, up in the door hinge. So basically you just pop this piece out here, and that is in behind here is a Phillips screw. It's pretty basic. If you watch this video you'll see, but you just pop this off. First Phillips screw there. Second is in under here. There's different tools and stuff you can use to get these off. I just choose to use this. That's what I have in my hand. Probably better to use something a bit less harsh so you don't scratch something if you do. It pops up like that. Pull this out, and there's your other Phillips screw there. So basically that one up the top there, under those two, straightforward as. Unplug these plugs, come off the back of here. So they've got little tab pieces here that you just push in, and so you pop the plugs up with these little pieces here. So here's the old speaker, original one. Looks got a nice little bit of something's been spilled in there. It's growing. So these things are what obviously come standard in the Nissan Maxima. It's all plastic. I have seen something like this before. This speaker is actually fine, but the way I want to put it in, I'm going to pretty much destroy the speaker. I mean, no one's going to buy these speakers. I mean, there might be someone who wants a factory one, but it's going to work better for me. I'll usually use this housing of the speaker as a bracket to hold the new ones. So I've got these. This is a 6.5 inch. That's actually the outside diameter of the speaker. As you can see, look. The inside 6 inch, right about there. These are 6.5 inch. Basically these come. Got these because they were having a special at local automotive stores today. So it's supposed to be $60 speakers, and I'm 30 watts, so I mean, for 8 times to upgrade the whole thing. That's how they come. Comes a set of wires. There's another set of wires, and they're supposed to come with a set of wires and 8 screws in 8 of these brackets if you're going to hold them on a certain way. The original first box I opened was missing the screws, so which is fine. Got an application I'm going to use anyway. Here's one of the other one that I've already done. It's already out of the box, so I'm not going to use the covers or anything like that. It'll just be straight the speaker in here. As you can see, pretty close enough for my liking. So what I've decided I want to do is I want to use this so I can keep the factory plug. It's a factory terminals till I get upgrade the system anymore. I'm going to use these terminals and solder these tabs here that originally run into the speaker underneath here onto these pieces here. So basically I'm going to start by just snipping this out. it's obviously one speaker, there's not much I can do about it. Then just destroy it. There's original tabs here. Leave these on, show you that there is another way you can do it without, if you don't have a soldering iron. That's all rubbish to me now. So by looking at the size, you should be pretty good to just slap in there. It'll be slightly prouder than what the original was, but I'm pretty sure there's enough flex in the door card that sits against it, and there's actually a bit of a gap between the actual door card and where the speaker will go anyway, so it should be fine. So as you can see, pretty close to line up. So there's a way you could do this if you didn't have a soldering iron, like I do. But what I'd do if I didn't have a soldering iron is I'd fold these tabs down, take these two connections, slide the speaker in here, and then what I'd actually do is grab those connections and crimp on some female blade terminals like what's in here. I'll show you. So you can buy these obviously separately, just the pieces. You just buy those pieces separately and you crimp them on there. So you just obviously crimp them onto there, and then with that blade terminal you could just plug it straight onto that speaker once it's in there. Just flip it up and clip it onto there. I'm not going to worry with that obviously. So basically that's what I'm going to do. Now this is a little bit mud. Doesn't really matter with these little tabs, but I've got a trusty noisy as hell renovator. So I mean, hey, why not? As seen on TV. Drone battery's done. Cool. There you go. So there you go. Rough as guts, tidy as hell. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to lip these off because I've got a bit of space there. Doesn't need this much. They're pretty much going to be sitting right on it. If you can see those terminals, they pretty much sit right on it. So I'll just pull these out a little bit, make them a bit easier to work with. Some standard pliers and a little bit of elbow grease. Squeeze on there. Now I'm just going to lop these off. Like that. These tabs up a bit. Like that. You may wonder how I know that this is going to be positive and negative, because I actually got my multimeter, grabbed my multimeter, put it on the terminals, started the stereo up, and then found which one was putting positive out, and it is the side that is going to be connecting onto the positive. So, alright, makes it a shitload easier, and yeah, that's what I'm going for. Easiness. And it should perform a lot better as well with the speakers being a little bit better. I mean, I think the original speakers, if you look at the back, max 40 watt. I mean, that's almost standard stereo will most likely put out, so that's all these speakers are going to get, but future proof for upgrade purposes, not going to have to worry about it. It's not so much the watt, it's how much the actual stereo can put out. So this has got RMS 25 watt but 300 watt peak power, so you got plenty of upgrading to be able to go through there. 4 ohm, I mean they're obviously standard car speakers 4 ohm. So yeah, so just going to slap this in there where I want it. Basically put these, so they're going to be over there touching. Try and hold it in one place while I flip the speaker over. And with the standard screws that I got there, I've got this drill bit that's slightly smaller than the thread, which is perfect for what we need. Now I'll just go grab the drill. Yeah, back with the drill. Take our standard Phillips off. Double check this is in the right place still. Now, obviously you've got the plug here, so I'm not going to use this hole. If I use that hole, there's a chance that the screw is going to end up going in the plug. Tap this grit off there, which is not what I want to happen. So I'm not going to do all the holes, it's unnecessary. In my opinion, it just needs enough to be able to actually hold it in there. It's not really going to be pumping out that crazy amount of sound, so. Over there, about there, perfect. And I'll just do 3, so I'll start with the one down the bottom here. And just as I go, I'm just going to get these in the hole. They have a tapered thread on the end, so if you've got a little bit of muscle, you can actually get a little bit of a thread on there, holds it in place. Double check it's where I need it. Double, triple check is the way to go. Another one there, keep them in the same place. Obviously you're missing this one. And when they're all tightened up, that'll stay in there nicely like that. So now I've done that, swap these screws out. Pick up all my rubbish and onto the soldering side of things. Where did I have that rubbish from? Go there. There we go. This is my soldering setup. The old TS100. Found this one through a drone site, pretty much. TS100, and I've made this custom power bank to the infamous M.S.D batteries. It puts out 18 volts, so plenty enough. This will run on 12. It actually comes with clips that can go to a car battery as well. And just a personal thing, I always crank it as high as I possibly can. 400, so it's hard and fast, in and out. You can run over these with a bit of sandpaper if you want, or a bit of acetone or something to clean any. I'm not going to bother, but probably would have helped if I got rid of all the steel shavings before I started this, but I won't. Tin the terminals. These on the speaker will tin pretty easy. And with these ones, yeah. Get this through in here. And my screw position should be in the right place, so flip her upside down. Now, personally, rule of thumb for me and everything I do, when you're screwing things down, don't drive them all home straight away. Never drive them all home. Not so much for this kind of thing, but for when you're putting anything together, always get them in so they're tight, you know, enough to hold it in place, but you've still got movement. You see, a lot of the time people just, when they do DIY themselves, they just smash everything home, and then they get to the last screw. Could be 10 screws on this thing, and then the last screw they can't get to line up properly, or the last 2 or 3. It's all because it's too tight. There's always usually a bit of play in things, so it's best to take your time, double, triple check again, like usual. And also, never overdo it with your screwing things up. This is quite a rigid plastic, and I would say it probably wouldn't withstand much force within the thread without it snapping it. So, there we go. Anyway, now we just fold these suckers up. Start on the heavy bit, get the heat on the big part first. That's obviously the hardest part to heat up. As you can see, it took quite a bit longer. And then yeah, just slap some solder on top, make a blob. Doesn't really matter. All you're trying to do is join them together. What you'd get if you're just having wires. But it's all personal opinion. My personal opinion is you should always try and solder as much wires as possible. Just longevity wise, it'll last a lot longer. And that's the side it wants to turn off. The only problem with this plug is I've wrenched it a couple of times, and in certain positions it will disconnect, and if you disconnect it, it'll just restart itself. Even for a brief moment. It doesn't have any internal battery memory. Boom! Put it in. As you can see now, the new speaker installed or soldered onto the terminals. The best part about this and doing it like this is factory plugs straight back on. And you don't have to worry about your positioning and how it's going to fit because it's factory. The only downfall is you've got the JVC logo upside down. Check it out before you do it all up, make sure it's working. not my choice of music. Butler's car once again. One thing you want to make sure when you're putting the door card on, obviously, these are all what clip it on. Basically, as these new modern vehicles, they just all clip and play, pretty much. Don't forget to get that out. You're going to clip it all up and you're not going to have windows. Once again, check everything's working. Of course the window's not going to work because the other side's off.